Okay, so this is your reteach for TEK 84C, and that TEK says you're going to be able to find the rate of change or slope and the y-intercept, whether you're given a table or a graph. Okay, so let's look at a table first. Okay, so remember the slope, the rate of change is the change in y over the change in x. And to do that, you're going to subtract your y's and compare them to the difference in your x's. So subtract your x's. Okay, so when I do change in y over change in x, I look at my table and I find the change in y. So I'm going to jump here because then I don't have to worry about the negatives. So 0 to 2, that's plus 2. Then I'm going to go find my change in x. So when y goes up by 2, I see x is going up by 3. And that is my slope. Right from there, I can write my slope as 2 over 3. And I'll just leave it 2/3. Do not change that to 0.6 repeating. It's totally okay to leave slope as fractions as long, and you want to simplify them. I don't ever change them to decimals. Okay, it's not wrong, but if it's going to be a repeating decimal, then leave it a fraction for sure. Okay, so let's look and see how our formula works. So y2 minus y1, doesn't matter which 2 points you pick, so I'm going to go 0 minus 2. Doesn't matter what order you pick them in either, as long as you subtract the x's in the same order you subtract the y's. So the corresponding x value with that 0 for y is 3, so this is going to be 3 minus 6. Okay, so when I figure this out, I'm going to get 0 minus negative 2 is negative 2, and then 3 minus 6 is negative 3, and negative 2 divided by negative 3 is 2/3. So that's your slope. Okay? All right, now let's talk about the y-intercept. The y-intercept is when x is equal to 0. So when x is equal to 0, y is equal to negative 2. Okay, so right there in your table, you're looking for where x is 0. That's your y-intercept. Okay, so y is equal to negative 2. So my y-intercept is the ordered pair 0, negative 2. Or you can just say it's negative 2. That's fine as well. Okay, so now let's look at a graph. What are we going to do with this graph? Okay, so change in y over change in x. So we're going to draw what we call a slope triangle. So change in y, and because this, I'm trying to make this bigger, this is so little, and I'm drawing freehand, so let's see if I can draw a straight line. It doesn't matter which 2 points I pick, so I can draw my slope triangle here, my vertical change here, or I could do a vertical change all the way up to here. Doesn't really matter. And then I need my horizontal change, my change in x, that's the horizontal axis, so that goes that way, or I could do that. I mean, it just depends on, for me, it depends on how small the graph is so that I can count. Okay, all right, so the vertical change here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Or if you're using this triangle, 1, 2. And the horizontal change is 1, 2, 3, 4, but wait, we went in the negative direction, so it's negative 4. And this is negative 1. So either way you do this, you're going to get 2 over negative 1, or if you use a big triangle, you're going to get 8 over negative 4. Okay, so that makes our slope equal to negative 2. If we simplify either of those, we're going to get negative 2. Okay? All right, so what you could do if you want to, sometimes counting on the graph can be a little tedious. The other thing is you really have to make sure you look at your scale, because a lot of times your scale will go by tens or thousands, and you count 3 spaces and you write 3 instead of 30 or 3,000. So a lot of times I tell my kids, pull your points off and make a table. So I have the point 2, 1, and I have the point 1, of course I went backwards, but that's okay, 1 and 3. And so from here, now I can use my formula, subtract the y's, subtract the x's, and I get negative 2 over 1, which is negative 2. Or I can come back and do my change in y over change in x. Okay, so if counting on the graph is a little bit, I don't know, tedious, or you don't want to do it, or whatever, or you're worried about the scale, you can always pull points off that graph and use a table or use your formula. Okay, so when the y-intercept, when x is equal to 0, y is, and we have a graph, so basically we are going to start on the y-axis, and we're going to travel down the y-axis till we hit our graph, and that's our y-intercept right there. So this is 5. Okay, so the ordered pair would be 0, 5, but you can just say the y-intercept is 5, and everybody's happy. Okay, so do your practice problem, and then good luck on your retest items. May the force be with you.